Welcome back to the Now Morning Show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for staying with us. In September, there was the first ever robot-assisted surgery to take place in the English-speaking Caribbean, and that's actually a pretty big deal. This morning, I want to welcome some doctors, part of the Trinidad 6, and a representative from the chairman actually of Imperial Medical Solutions, joining us this morning to chat about it. Let me say good morning to Dr. Ramdas Senasi, who I'm going to call him Ram just for the sake of the show because he likes to be called that, so I'm going to be calling him that. And I also want to say good morning, Dr. Yadish Singh and Dr. Patrick Hanarayan. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Ram, I want to start with you. I want to know what was the inspiration to bring this to the English-speaking Caribbean, to let IMS bring this initiative and this project down to the English-speaking Caribbean?
Well, thank you very much, Rockers, for asking that question. Firstly, before I start, I would like to thank TTT for accommodating us via Zoom. It was really important that the doctors maintain social distancing, frontliners. So for us, it was really important. And thank you so much for accommodating us. And secondly, congratulations to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean on this momentous occasion. You are absolutely correct. It's a big deal. So answering your question, what inspired me to bring this to Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean is very easy. I trained at the University of West Indies St. Augustine campus. I know Trini surgeons can cut. I know that there are world-class surgeons in Trinidad and also in the Caribbean, and the university is a well-respected institution. What was really important for Imperial Medical Solutions was making sure that the robot got into the right hands. The University of West Indies had a pragmatic approach to patient safety and clinical ethics. Training the surgeons to perform the robotic surgery was fairly straightforward, but the journey to get there required lots of negotiations, appeasing people that this was done properly, it was done safely, and so patient safety was paramount. And as I said, I trained at the University of West Indies. I claimed chairman's prerogative. I wanted to be my alma mater first in the English-speaking Caribbean.
Nice.
And hopefully that answers your question, Rockers.
It certainly does. Dr. Singh, tell me about the training process. I understand that a lot of it took place, or all of it took place remotely. You guys use the technology, Microsoft Teams and 3D printout stuff. Tell me about the process to learn about doing this robotic surgery.
Right. So as Ram said, the team was chosen. We looked at through the University of the West Indies and through the regional health authorities, and we chose a 6, the Trinidad 6. Now, as Ram said, core to the center of our philosophy is that patient safety. And usually when we're introducing new technology in any part of the world, there will be an on-site and you'll have what you call a proctor. However, because of the COVID pandemic, we weren't able to get a proctor in. So we did what you call dry labs. And this was the first time in the world that technology like this was introduced using dry lab. And this is probably one of the positive spin-off of the COVID pandemic, where it was done totally online. So it's a first in the world, not only for Trinidad and Tobago, but even for the UK, for the entire training. So we are trending towards online training for this type of technology.
Was it more challenging to do it online as compared to in person?
Yes. So the entire training process was delivered totally online. We were proctored by surgeons who have used this before. We were proctored by the IMS team and also by the manufacturers of the robot.
Right.
Now, all 6 surgeons were trained in a dry lab technology in a facility in Trinidad and Tobago. And we all became competent and we were all certified to use this technology before we went on to do human operations.
Okay.
Marcus, if I may add to that, please.
Sure.
I can also clarify. So part of Imperial Medical Solutions is bringing those who are best at what they do to the table.
Right.
In Trinidad, we brought in players such as A.A. Luckies in the Trinidad 6 and the University of West Indies. We worked with the Department of International Trade were extremely helpful. Within the UK, of course, we work with the robotics company Freehand Limited, but we also had to bring in experts in digital training and education, and that we brought in Digital Resilience UK. Digital Resilience UK have a benchmark in delivering digital training. They were the ones of the first to introduce virtual reality training to the University of East Anglia at Norwich Medical School. And they've also delivered online training to schools and to other colleges. So for them, they were already taking known technology, recognized technology, and just simplifying it and making it more accessible. This, of course, opens up a whole new world to the way we connect, communicate, and train in healthcare. It's not just for robotics, but in other areas of health, in surgery, anesthetics, obstetrics. But of course, all of this was done meticulously, methodically, with several weeks of preparation and training. And ultimately, patient safety being first, the surgeons always had complete control of the environment. At any point in time, if they wanted to stop the robot, they could easily do it in less than a second and then take control of the surgery itself. Hopefully that answers your question, Rockers.
It certainly does. Dr. Hannah Ryan, I want to bring you into the conversation. You're one of the Trinidad Six, and I want to know the process and tell me what the robot did exactly. Or what did you use the robot to do? I understand that it's a camera, but tell me what you actually do during the surgery with the robot.
Right, thank you, Ruckus. Well, it's not a real robot, it's a robotic arm. And the robotic arm holds the camera, as you can see above. It holds the camera, and you have a headset. And by nodding your head left or right, the camera holder, the robotic arm, then turns that direction. So by using certain head movements, you're able to control the movement of the camera. So it means that at that point in time, you don't need an assistant. And that means that whatever you're thinking, you can now translate by simple head movements or feet movement to move the robotic arm. And therefore the camera either pans in out, turns to the left or right, so it makes surgery much easier.
Oh, okay. So you no longer have to instruct somebody on how you want to, where you want to see, you can just move it yourself.
Yes, yes. And
Nice.
what is really important is that it frees up someone's hand. So if you have a junior who's training with you, it is important for them to learn to hold the camera. But what's important is that you may want to help them during the procedure, and therefore you can go and proctor them at that point in time, and you have the robotic arm controlling the movement. So it actually frees up the arm of the person, and it makes it easier. And in addition to this, when you're being proctored, they can see everything you're doing, as Yadish mentioned. So while we were actually training to do the being proctored, I had the headset on, and as I moved my head, the guy in England said, "Oh, very good." So it means he was looking at everything we were doing. And the proctoring is an important part of the whole scenario, because it means that at any point in time, they can tell us, well, move your head to the left or the right. So the proctoring part of it helped us a lot.
So
that answers the question.
You know, Doc, my only question to that is like, what happens if you're sweating, or if you want to, if a fly pass, or I don't know, something like that, where you move your head in a direction you wasn't planning
hopefully you have the flies in the theater, but if you're sweating, the nurses are very attentive, the assistants, to mop your brow. And that's a good question, to mop your brow, take it, and you could actually see at the point, let's stop for a minute, and that's a good part of it. You can stop the procedure, and they can attend to any need you have at that point in time. Good question.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, I want to congratulate you gentlemen on this, because I think it's fantastic. And I look forward to see where we're able to take the technology as it relates to medicine and surgeries going forward. Congratulations on this initiative. Ram, before we go, can you just mention some of the other partners who would have been involved in making this process happen? Because I know it was a big network of people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, apart from the partners I mentioned, which are the Department of International Trade and the British High Commission, AA Lakis, the Trinidad Six, the University of West Indies, Digital Resilience UK, Imperial Medical Solutions, and Freehand. Our other key strategic partners were actually in Jamaica at the University of West Indies. And also within Trinidad, if it wasn't for the support from the Northwest Regional Health Authority, we were not able to have had the surgeries performed in September. So where do we go from here? Well, this is not over yet. Trinidad's role was to look and see if robotic-assisted surgery was feasible in the Anglophone Caribbean, and we now know that. The second part of phase 2 of this project is to push the boundaries, to look at more complex procedures, and we now have the Jamaican 3 at the University of West Indies in Mona, and from there we hope that this will trickle down to the rest of the English-speaking Caribbean. So watch this space, Rockers.
Definitely, and I hope you guys come back to share with us every time you accomplish something different, because we want to keep informing the public as much as we possibly can.
Thank you very much, Ruckus.
No
Thank you very
problem.
much.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. That is Dr. Ramdas Sanasi, Dr. Yadish Singh, and Dr. Patrick Hanarayan. And these gentlemen have performed a robot-assisted surgery right here in Trinidad and Tobago with training remotely in a dry lab. This is phenomenal. It's definitely a huge step in our medicine and medical procedures. And I hope that, we can see more fruits of this fantastic labor. We take a quick break and come back with more inside the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.